Yes, and we're back on the duty again, and this time we got Junior Stanislas. What's going on?
Good, bruv. How are you?
No, I'm good, man. Thanks you for coming on. You're like, I'd say an established Prem boy, but you find yourself in the champ. Are you finding the season?
It's not gone smooth, man. The level's different. It's a grind, like 46 games in comparison to 38. I know it don't seem like a big difference, but 2 games a week, it's relentless, bro. It is relentless, but it's all right, man. It's all right. It's football. So at the end of the day, you try and enjoy every game best way you can, but the level's different, that's for sure.
Yeah. Are you finding it like, because following your career, like Eddie Howe's a man who has faith in you. Now he's not there now, and you're like in like a fight to get back. Is that affected your performances or? Like you personally, like your mentality and stuff?
I don't think it's affected the performances. Obviously, I had Eddie at Burnley as well.
Yeah.
So I've worked with him for probably the past, 8 years or something like that. So it's different with him not being there, but it's not affecting my performances. Obviously, you just get on with it and play the best you can. It's different, slight change of style, etc., but it's cool, man. It's cool. Once you're with the boys, it's fun and games.
Yeah, it's every day. Let's talk about you now. You grew up in kind of like a notorious estate, innit? In Southeast.
Yeah.
What was it like?
Do you know what? It's the same as anything, innit? When you're from that area, you know no different. So it's just man them together, playing ball, running round, enjoying themselves. But obviously, I get the sense that if you're not from the ends, then it's different.
Yeah.
Like, people look on it like it's a troubled area. What goes on there? Don't want to go down there. Those sort of things. But when you're from there, it's just man them just enjoying themselves.
No, I used to hear stories about that, and even when I Google the estate, it just looks mad, like a big maze. So I guess for you, it's just a normal.
It's a maze. They say one way in, one way out. Yeah. Concrete jungle. But everyone grew up there together. But yeah, things happen there. But it's just people, man. We used to play ball together. There's little things that happen, chases and people coming to your estate. You're going to other estates and things like that. But it's a family, really. It's a community. It's a family. It's the safest place in the world, man. My door used to be unlocked all the time. Like, man, them will testify. Come to knock for me, you can push my door. It opens. They just walk up in the house. But obviously, from the outside looking in, you don't want to go down there because this happens or that person got robbed or this person got stabbed or where. But it's not really like that. When you're from there, it's a community, it's a family place, the safest place.
I guess that's like the same for most estates. But you've been playing football from young. The older boys on the estate, were they looking out for you, saying, right, like, you're going to be a footballer, stick to football, or were they allowing you to get mixed up into things? Not anything mad, but...
Nice. That was good, Obviously, you hear stories about olders from places and you shouldn't really do this, but they're kind of condoning it and you need to do this to grow up like us. But we didn't really have that. We was all kind of, although there was the older people, we were still kind of linked in.
Yeah.
So if I would have a game or I did have training, then it was more like, we're going here, but you don't come because you do this.
Yeah.
So I had good influences around me. Don't get me wrong, I was still there sometimes when I probably shouldn't have been. But those were my choices.
Yeah.
I had good people around me, really. Same people I have around me now are the same people that I had around me then.
That's good. Was it mum and dad or just mum?
Just mum. But mum as well. So obviously you hear mum, kids take the piss out of mum.
Yeah.
But not with me, it was more of a respect thing.
Okay.
I never really wanted, because I moved away with her from young, she looked after me. I never really wanted to let her down. So if she was to tell me, come back at this time, I tried my best to come back. I could run through parks and whatever, late night, ducking, leaving them at McDonald's or whatever. I used to have to duck through the park to get home at a certain time because I didn't want to let her down.
Yeah.
So I still had that respect thing there.
So she's saying, you come back late, I'm not taking you to football.
Nah, she never took me to football. We didn't drive. We didn't have cars and that. So I used to have to take sometimes free trains to get to training. Or one of my teammates that was playing with me at the time, his granddad used to pick us up and take us through. But it was more she was just pissed. She wouldn't speak to you. It's not like she would lick you or do this, but she wouldn't speak to you. And that affected me more than getting the lick.
To be fair, I'm a bit the same. With my dad, he never like hit me or anything. It just gave me that look. And if he's not speaking to me, I think, like that's
you rather take the lick, innit?
Yeah,
and then it's calm in the house.
Give me a box, But yeah, so you're obviously a junior. Are you named after your pups?
Yeah. My pups is called Felix, isn't it? So no one uses that name, boy. No one uses it. I remember when people found out as well. I was at West Ham going on pre-season tour with the first team. You remember Callum Davenport?
I remember the name, yeah.
They was giving out boarding cards, isn't it? And he must have looked. He went, "Who the fuck is Felix?" Blood. I was embarrassed, man. But yeah, he ended up buying that flight off me. So certain people was in business and certain people wasn't, innit? And I was in business and I was a young player. He had to pay me money to take that seat.
Better. So what? Dad's never been about, or?
No, he's about. He's always kind of been about, to be honest. But obviously, mum and dad not together. So
Yeah.
Just here and there.
So, when you was playing, you played for England. Didn't you ever think about playing where your dad was from?
Nah, not really. You know, the England thing it's weird because I used to get homesick when I was younger, believe it or not. But not homesick in terms of I miss home, I want to go home. It's just when I used to go away, so this was like 19s, 20s, 21s, when I used to go away, because the people there were so different to what I used to be around, it was hard. Like when they're having their jokes and like, I had to kind of like fake laugh, like, but I weren't really involved in the banter, if that makes sense. Because I come from completely different background, completely different people. So I just used to want to go home, man. I didn't enjoy it, bruv. And in terms of international now, obviously I had ambition to play for England, but I would have had to go halfway across the world to play for a country that I've only been there like 3-4 times myself. So there's not really, although I'm from St. Lucia, there's not really that strong affiliation. Not to mention, I wouldn't have really want to be there anyway.
But you could have been the best player on the team or the best player on the island. Yeah.
I just, I like home, man. I like home. I don't really want to go away. For international football, for me, I really feel you have to feel like you're really playing and representing that country.
Okay.
And although, obviously, I'm half St. Lucian, my dad's from there, I got family from there, but I wouldn't have that same commit. I would be playing international football just for the sake of playing international football, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I hear that. I guess, like you said, when you was in the 21s, 19s, 20s and stuff, you didn't feel like you fit in with their banter and stuff. Like now, you can see everyone's, like it's cool to be like for where man's from, innit? Like everyone's banter's the same. They all listen to the same music and stuff like that.
Culture's different.
Yeah, culture's different. Would you have dreamed for that sort of culture, that sort of...
100%, bruv. Like, I even remember 21, when you used to wake up and you used to go down for breakfast, you used to have a whiteboard and your whole day was mapped out. Breakfast, this time.
Yeah.
Training, boom, come back, strap-ins, lunch, 1 hour in your room. Then you got this, that and the other. When I speak to the people now, they're like, it's relaxed there. You can go chill out. Obviously, the man them's doing what they're doing. They're playing computer in between. First team, you can go, you might get a couple hours to leave the hotel and do this and that, and then you come back. We didn't have none of that. It was very rigid, and I didn't like that structure. I liked to, after training is done, let me just do my own thing, and then we'll get back to training. But it was too structured for me.
Was that the same when you was going away with West Ham? Like, say, when you went on tour, was it the same like structure then? Was it rigid then, or was it just a bit more relaxed?
It was relaxed. It's obviously, once training time is there, turn up for training. You have to eat together, but the times in between, if you want to go out the hotel, go out the hotel. You might have something to look forward to at the end of it. So if there's a pre-season training camp and it's a week or 10 days or 2 weeks, you know, the last night you're getting the team night out. So you got something to look forward to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas there, it's like business, then you're home.
Do you reckon that affects the players, like your age group? Did that affect you lot on the pitch?
I think it can, yeah. I think if you, now when you look at the England international team, when you see clips on Insta and it just looks like fun. It just looks like the teams joining up, everyone gets on. It's just man them doing things and obviously kicking ball together. That's what it seems like, kicking ball together. Whereas there, it was just like rigid. There was no chill out time. Everything was business. And obviously when you're relaxed and you know certain individuals better, you'll play better.
Yeah, true. Because I see like Spain and that, they all come in like jean, everyone's in the same like jean suits and stuff. And then, whereas England, they're wearing suits or in a baggy tracksuit and stuff. So I guess it does make a difference. Let's go back to growing up. Was you bad in school?
There's a difference, isn't it? I was naughty. I wasn't bad. Like, I wasn't a bad boy.
Yeah.
I just, again, for me, routine was always a problem. Like, I used to see school as I had to wake up mad early and then I had to go somewhere I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
And then by the time I come home, I had a couple hours to chill out before I had to repeat it. And I didn't like it. So certain lessons I wouldn't go to. I'd miss lessons and play penny up the wall with them and all of that kind of stuff. So I wasn't bad. I wasn't a bad boy, but I was just naughty. I didn't like to do what was being asked of me.
Did like teachers or like your mum ever use like taking football away from you as a punishment?
Nah. They tried to one time because I ended up getting kicked out of school. So I didn't do GCSEs. Do you know what? I didn't do nothing. I used to be there all the time. I used to get in trouble all the time. The thing I got kicked out for, it was one dude come from another school. The group that I'm usually with, something happened to that kid. Loads of people got expelled. I was one of them. And there was witnesses that said that they saw me there. I wasn't even there. But they called in people from West Ham, said, he's done this, he's done that. This is too much now.
Oh, wow.
They ended up kicking me out. But I went in full time. With the youth team. So it worked out for me.
Oh, decent. So when you was at West Ham, you've been West Ham, since you was 10? So you was at West Ham from when you was 10. Didn't you ever think, I just want to play with my friends on a Sunday or anything? Or was you just that determined to be?
I did play with them on a Sunday.
You played both?
Not like Sunday league football,
that's what I mean.
But I played every day. So obviously if you train a couple of times during the week, I would still, say you train on a Tuesday and a Thursday, youth club was open. Monday and Wednesday, I was still playing cage football on those days. Weekend come, if you play a 11 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday, I would finish that game, come back and play in the cage with the man them again. So I was always playing ball until probably about 18. Then I had to start mellowing down a little bit.
Yeah, I hear that. Because there's some people that say they missed playing with their friends. Like they've been in football from when they were like 6 and they've been at a pro club. So their heads are straight, structured. And obviously you said you don't like all of that. And then they miss playing out with their friends. And when they get released, they're just lost. And, it affects their mental health and stuff. You never ever felt like...
Nah, because I think, like you say, that certain, when you're rigid from 6, people in academy from 6, and the only thing you do is play academy football, I think you play a certain way as well.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're playing in the ends with people, you're taking people on, you're doing certain things, and then you're going to academy and you're learning and take the ball on your back foot, play forward.
Yeah.
So you're adding different things in. So I think your education of football is better as well from playing street football. Whereas kids, when they go into academies too young, I think it's difficult for them, man.
Yeah, I hear that. While you're at West Ham, I read somewhere that something happened with a friend and you could have got in trouble, like going there, but you chose not to. Do you want to tell us about that? You don't have to go into depth, but do you want to share that story?
Yeah, all right. But we was going out. And I didn't go out too much. Me, a couple of my friends, us here. But we was going to a club. I think it might have been somewhere like Libertine or whatever.
Okay.
So we was going there. And I spoke to him before and he's like, yeah, I'm going to come, but I'm going to another party first.
Okay.
Come with me here. And then we'll go there after. And I was like, nah, I'm going to go straight here. If anything, just come and link us after. So he's gone to where he's gone to.
Oh, no, let me stop you there, because I know I know what these central clubs are like. If you turn up late, they're not trying to let you in. They look for any excuse not to let you in. So you're probably thinking, nah, I've got to get into this club.
Do you know what? That might have been it, That might have been it. But either way, we ended up there and he ended up going his way.
Okay.
And his way, he's still in jail now. I don't want to go into too much details. Like I said, kids watching, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and I'm a believer in God as well. So I believe my life and certain choices I've made has been led to where I am now. Because there could have easily been certain situations where I was in jail or I got something happened to me, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe I've been kind of led this way for a reason.
Like, do you hide your upbringing from your kids? Or is it something you show them and say, right, like, be privileged for the life I'm giving you now? Because life for me it was fun, but it wasn't as easy as you lot.
I don't hide it from them, but I think you gotta kind of gloss over certain things because you ain't gonna want them knowing the ins and outs. Like where they live now, they're never gonna have to experience certain things that we had to experience. And I think that that's some positive there and some negative. One of my boys plays football, and again, he ain't gonna have cage football. And I think cage football helps most kids in London.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the Sanchos and Zahas and those people, really skillful players, they picked that up from street football.
Yeah.
Whereas him, he's not going to get to experience that. But in terms of the kind of life away from football, I gloss over certain things because I think there's certain things it's better if they're not even thinking about it.
True.
Than to have to explain what we did. And I think they're not there, so they don't really need to know about
and I guess even like if you used to glamorize your upbringing, life now is totally different to life back then. Like now, people kill just for the sake of killing, and you don't want your sons growing up in that mentality. Like I hear that, I respect it. You got twins, innit?
Yeah.
I read something that pissed me off. Like one of your twins gets abuse and the other one doesn't. Like that's.
He's had it, recently. It was the race thing. I had it. I had the online abuse.
Yeah,
thing. I had that
yeah.
recently, probably about 3 months ago now. But it was just literally at a time where my son had it like 3 weeks before, 2 weeks
online
before.
as well?
Nah, not online.
Oh.
He's not online like that. Again, I won't really say the situation because I said I wouldn't bring it up. But even at his age, and obviously I got twins, but they're 1 in a million twins. So one's blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin. The other one's my color, dark hair, dark eyes. So he's gonna see he's already felt it at 9 years old. Although he doesn't know the impact of it, he's had to deal with that.
Yeah.
Whereas Jacob, my other son, he's never had to deal with that, and he never will have to deal with that. So
how does that make you feel? Like potentially one of they're brothers, and they're twins, but ones might have a harder life than the other, all because of the shade of their skin.
Mad, innit? Racism, I don't understand it, bro. Mum's white, dad's black, I'm mixed race. One kid who's white skinned, other kid who's my color skin. I don't understand racism. I don't understand how you can, not even just black, white, even Chinese and the rest of them. I don't understand how, because of a man is a certain skin shade, he's gonna be treated differently to the next man who's a different skin shade. It just don't make sense.
Yeah, and they're the same blood as well. Do you find you have to tread softly how you educate them, or like on the race term, or are you gonna just do it the same and be open?
No, we're open in our house, man. We're open.
That's good, man.
We say certain things. Their education is there. I think even the school that they go to is gonna introduce certain things to help the upbringing of the kids and the education for them. So we try and be open as we can in our house.
No, that's good. Back to football. You was part of like a good West Ham team, and a few of you broke through. What was it like being in the first team at 18 and stuff? Like going on, you said you went on tour and a first team player had to buy your ticket. What's that thing? I think they bantered you because you didn't have to put on a seatbelt or something.
Bro. That's the maddest story I have, I told my son that one. So, like I said, when you say about mum taking you to football, we didn't have a car, so we weren't going on no family holidays. So the first time I went on a plane I think it was under 14s. We went away to Italy. And And when you look back at it now, it's stupid, isn't it? You should know how to click a seatbelt in, but then I'm used to that one, innit?
Yes, yeah,
Putting it in and clicking it. This one is like that. So I'm kind of looking around and thinking, Ross, how does this work? And people are looking, they've clocked me, innit? They've clocked me, bruv. Don't you know how this works, bro? I'm like...
And 14-year-olds are ruthless.
Ruthless, blood. I had another one. So I had that one. They destroyed me. I had another one where I was in training in a changing room.
Yeah.
And this is when the vapors freshly come out back then. Henri's day. Henri had the first vapors on them, man. I had the fake ones, innit? But I thought I had the legit ones. You know what I mean? It was like £30 Foot Locker boots. I thought I had the proper things. So I got it. I had the studs in it, so I tied them in tight. When you tie studs in tight, it scuffs the thing. Like the plastic. So I went to the changing room. I was rocking them. The whole changing room was killing me off because they had their parents, they could buy, they had the proper things. They killed me off. My confidence went from here to here quickly. So I used them in the training. I cleaned them when I went home and I tried to take it back to Foot Locker to get my refund so I can try and do something. Yeah. They saw the scuff marks on the studs. I had to swallow that one, man. But kids are ruthless, bro.
That's mad. To be fair, I'm not even gonna lie, I would have hammered you as well if you had fake
I do that myself.
That's mad. So back to West Ham. Like, what's it like being 18 and thinking, right, I've made it to the from 10 years old, now I made it to the first team. What are you thinking?
No, it's good, man. Especially my first. So I remember making my debut. I think it was on a Monday night, but I was on the bench, and I had been on the bench for like weeks and weeks.
This before. At Upton Park, yeah?
At Upton Park, but I didn't come on.
Okay.
So we was playing West Brom. It was 0-0. And they said get warm. So I was getting warm, but it was I thought it was like a token, get warm.
Yeah. And
then they called me, and I remember my heart beating fast. But I come on, it's still 0-0. I played well. And then on the Saturday, we played Sunderland. And they done the team in the dressing room. And when the board went up and my number was there, again, my heart was beating. I enjoyed it.
Starting 11?
Starting lineup, yeah. I scored before half time to make it 1-0. And you know what? What's mad? The two friends that's with me today are the two friends that was there as well. And Jin was there as well, wasn't it? And Jin. So when I was celebrating, obviously Upton Park was packed. Yeah. So I looked up. I knew the sort of area they was in, but I saw those standing up and doing a madness. So decent. That was a special day, man.
Right, decent. What's it? So back to the West Brom game and you're warming up. Do the fans know who you are? Because I know there's some avid fans that know all the youth team players.
Not hard though. There's not like they were singing names or nothing like that. You have the ones who check the reserve teams and this player's coming through. I think they must have known that. They must have. Are they saying anything to you while you're warming up, or are you just blocking it out? Nah, just block it. I think they were watching the game and they weren't caring who was warming up.
You went on loan to get some first team experience. What was that like? That's like your first staying away from home moment? Like, did you know what you was doing?
You know what? That was weird because I went Southend. I went there for 6 weeks. Though, it's local. So I did stay there though. I did drive there, but I stayed there a little bit as well. But even that, it was, when I look back on it, that experience, it was good to play men's football, first team football. But I went there and we used to playing at West Ham, like keep balls, tight areas, playing. I went there, we used to do like keep balls, half a pitch, massive areas, which was easy. Yeah. And so I'd done 6 weeks there. I came back to West Ham and we went back to matchbox size thing. I was miles off it. So I went from somewhere I went to go to get experience to come back to play. Yeah. And I felt like my development went backwards because it was so different. Yeah. Obviously a couple months down the line, I made my debut, I got the game. So it worked out in hindsight, but I don't think loans is everything for kids, man. Yeah. You really got to that could have kind of like
ruined you a bit, innit?
Could have.
I know you said you stayed there a lot, you used to travel in. Do you think, obviously you've got good people around you, do you think that was like a dangerous move, like being so close to home and being able to drive, like stay at mumsy's or stay at your house and then drive to training with Southend? Do you think that's like a dangerous move? Whereas you could get caught up in, obviously you didn't because you've got good people around you, but get caught up in certain things.
I think it depends where you go, and if you're going to a completely different part of the country, you could get caught up in you're on your own, so you're going out every weekend and you're drinking and this and that. But Southend was only like hour.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Because of where you're from, I'm not saying it's like a bad area, but you could come home one day and just be chilling on the bike and end up being late for training because, you know, you've had a late night with the boys and stuff like that. Did you ever nearly slip up, or would you
No. Things like that, I was good. That side of it was calm.
So back at West Ham, and you're, like you say, you fell off a little bit. Were they on you to get back to where you were?
Hard. The players though. Not really the management, but the players. The one, Scott Parker, his standards, every single day was here.
Serious.
So if you was giving the ball away and that, they used to be on you hard, man. And I used to feel it because I went away, and obviously when you're younger and you start training with the first team, you got to be all right to train with the first team.
Yeah.
So when I was there, I was like sharp. I got used to training with them. I was sharp. And then I went away and it's like I come back a new man, like a trialist almost kind of thing. And I was like, Ross, I keep giving the ball away. The ball was coming into me, bouncing off me. That weren't me.
Whereas like at Southend, you can afford to do that, innit?
Just the intensity is not the same. You can like jog around with the ball. Like it was easy. But the standards were different, man. And I had to find that out quickly.
Did you feel at this point, like when you're in the first team, in and out, that you've made it? Like,
nah. I had this, do you know what? Some of the things you're talking about, I had this conversation on the way here. I remember a player we had, Matt Upson.
Yeah.
We had him. And he said to me very quickly when I started playing, it was like, you need to stay focused and continue to work hard, because you can play here one day and you can very quickly, and he said Crawley, I think he said, you can very quickly end up at Crawley. And at the time I thought like, yeah, whatever, like he's chatting rubbish. But I've seen so many people do that. And even me, I was at West Ham from when I broke into the first team. I think I was there for 2 or 3 years. And then I went to Burnley, which is a step down, really. So I can see how quickly that can happen.
Did you think when you was leaving West Ham that I'm going to get another Prem team? I've played enough games, like Prem team should line up to sign me?
Nah, I didn't really think that, you know. For me, it was a time in my life where I was literally just having the kids.
Okay.
And I was at a stage where I felt I needed, because I got used to playing. Zola gave me my debut at West Ham. I got used to playing pretty much week in, week out. And when a new manager came in and I got used to playing at 3 o'clock every week.
Yeah.
So when I wasn't, I knew I needed to play. And speaking to people was like, nah, you need to go away, someone else's first team, be a regular player. So I went into the office and said, like, one time to Sam Allardyce, I want to go away and play. And he was like, nah, you ain't going. So I left.
Is he saying you're not going because he wants you in his plans?
He wanted me to stay there. But I was still only 20 there, 21, 22. So I was still kind of young. So I was like, okay. And then I'll go away and I'll have a conversation with my agent and other people. And I was like, nah, you need to go back. You need to say it again. So I went back and he was like, nah, you ain't going. And I went back 3 times in a week and he was like, all right, if it makes sense, then it will happen.
Yeah.
And I remember playing in a cup game the night before. They had agreed, okay, you can go. So I played in a cup game, scored mad goal, top corner, whipped it in.
Better.
And then there was like, the club phoned me. They was like, we don't think they're going to let you go now. But he was true to his word. He let me go. But yeah, those are some conversations I had to push, really.
That's brave though, because a lot of people who go into the manager's office and not demand a move, but say, I want to leave, they can get ruined like that. So you're kind of lucky that.
Yeah, but I did. So the reason I went in, I love West Ham. Even now, I love West Ham. So I didn't go in like, I want to leave. But I felt I had to, for where I was in my career, I had to go away to play games. So yeah, I had to kind of stay strong there, because at the end of the day, I was still a young player there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I had to go away to provide for my family as well. Remember, I got 2 kids coming now, so I got to look after them. So I can't be happy just being at West Ham, sitting on the bench, coming on a game here, a game there. I needed to be playing.
Do you know what's mad? Because you know you said you didn't like structure, like waking up for school, and that sort of regimented structure, but not playing on a Saturday, that's installed in you. So that's your structure, like wake up Saturday morning, you know you got a game. When that's disrupted, you're thinking my head's gone. So you just want to play, which makes you leave a team you love.
It's football though, isn't it? So you'll hear people, if you look through a post or whatever and a man isn't playing and he's on the bench, you will see fans saying, he's on the bench, he's on this amount of money a week, he should be happy.
Yeah. Football
don't work like that, bruv. If you're not playing, you're pissed. Period.
Yeah.
Like, you're pissed. You want to be playing every single minute of every match. And when you're not, someone comes in, takes your place or whatever the reason is, you need to be playing football, man.
Did you ever feel like, because West Ham, they could, like, at that point, they could buy anyone. Like, did you ever feel like you was lucky to be there, or do you think that your talent made you deserve a spot in that team?
Nah, yeah, I felt like I was supposed to be there. Like, from growing up, I always felt, so I was there since I was 10. I felt like growing up in every single age group, I always felt like I was the best player there.
Decent.
And even when I was in the first team, obviously it's a gap because there's loads of different ages there. Yeah. I didn't feel like I was the best player there, but I felt like no one should be playing ahead of me, if that makes sense.
Good mentality to have. Why Burnley? Like, did you know where he was going? Because that is like, I say this slightly.
Where I was going, you know?
Like, because it's the dickhead side of Manchester. Like, it's dead up there. Like, there's basically Emmerdale in that. Like, yeah, did you know what he was doing?
Everyone that plays in those sort of clubs lives in Manchester anyway.
Fair enough, but still, like.
No, I didn't know, but I knew. Again, I was speaking to Scott Parker, and he was saying he had spoken to the manager, which was Eddie Howe, and that he wanted me to go there. And I knew he was a young manager. I knew the type of football he wanted to play. And at that time, I think they had just come out the Premier League.
Okay.
So it was more like a Premier League club that's dropped down that has ambition to go back up.
Makes sense.
So I thought it made sense. Plus, my whole life had been London. And even with the Southend thing, it was only 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So it was an opportunity to kind of go away and see what else is out there.
How did I take it you moved your whole family up there?
Yeah.
Young kid, how did they settle? Was it all good?
It's all good, man. I literally, from when I went up there, just say I went up there on a Thursday. I signed on a Thursday, come back to London to do all my stuff, had the kids Saturday morning, and then we moved up there. So Manchester, the first 3 years of their life, that's what they knew.
What was it like playing for Burnley? Because I see, like, watching them, it's like, nobody likes playing against Burnley. Like, it just seems so dull and dead. Like, did you enjoy your time there? Or was it like...
It was a mixed bag. Because the manager changed halfway through. So I went up there with Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
Played quite a lot of football. And then the manager changed. And it's not that I didn't play football. It was just different. The philosophy is obviously slightly different. And they've had a lot of success doing what they do.
Yeah.
Like you say, no one wants to play them. It's difficult, tough place to go. It's hard to win games there. But at the same time, it didn't really work for me. Like, I felt after being a year there after that, I needed to probably get away and play some proper football.
Why do you think, like, when a new manager comes in, if you're playing, why do you think that, let's say players in general, when a new manager comes in, like, say you're playing week in, week out for Burnley, your manager leaves, you're expected to play when a new manager comes in, innit? Like, why do you think you stop playing? Like, is it because you don't like you, or?
I don't know. I think it depends what kind of run the team's on. I think if it's a thing where the team's not doing so well and they need to kind of shore it up, as they'll put it, they might put someone who's a little bit more rigid, sort of a less of a risk, or doesn't take as much risk in terms of a pass or whatever. Someone who they know they're going to get a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, rather than someone who could be a 8, 9 out of 10 1 week and then a 6 or a 7. Do you know what I mean?
I hear that.
I think they know what they're going to get from the player.
Oh, I get that. Have you had any... No, let me change that. I find when I was doing my research on you, like, you get a run of games and then you get an injury that takes you out for a couple of months. Does that affect you mentally? Yeah,
man. Injuries are the hardest thing in football, bruv. And this season, I've played more games than I've played in my entire career.
Oh, wow.
But like you say, I would play 5, 6 games, get an injury, keep me out for a month. And then I've had, like 4 years ago, I had some surgeries, like operations, where I tore my meniscus, I took my hamstring off the bone, Those sort of things, which are bigger ones. And when you're out for like 6-7 months, those are difficult, man, because you're seeing the team training, playing. You've had enough of doing gym work and strength work and bike sessions and all of this stuff that people don't see.
Yeah.
You just want to play. And then it starts to, when it becomes like a routine and a habit of playing this many games, getting an injury, then you get messages, he's injured again. You start getting that reputation of, and you're just trying to do the best you can do. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to be fit. Everyone wants to play games and help the team. But when you're in that cycle, it becomes difficult. I changed a few things this year and it seems to be working so far.
I was just about to ask, like, now that you're an established player, you could probably answer it. Were you doing what you should be doing to get back fit, or are you cheating yourself? Because to get injured that many times, or that, like, are you unlucky, or is it like your fault?
If you ask anyone that I play with, I would go as far as to say I'm one of the most professional people, honestly.
Fair enough.
I'm not like, in terms of food and that, I'll eat normal food, but in terms of, if we got a day off, I'll come in on my day off to do my recovery stuff.
Okay.
I have people come to my house to do massage and treatment. I'll stay long after training to do pool sessions, hot and cold massages, all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was still getting injured. There were certain things in my body that wasn't right, and I had to go elsewhere to get it looked at. And now it's kind of, now I can see the benefit of it. Was
you doubting yourself that when you're finding out, like, right, like, it's in my body, was you saying, like, I might have to stop playing football early, or did you stay positive?
Nah, never. It's the only thing I know. So when you start to think like that, you think, all right, stop playing football is one thing, but what are you going to do after?
Yeah.
So it's what I know, is I had to kind of just get on with it and go through it. And that was it, really, man.
But you'll be all right. Like, you come here with the deals and that.
I'm all right now. I'm all right now. I feel positive, man. I've played, like I said, I've played more games than I've played. And I'm obviously at the oldest age I've been. So it's not one of them things where, you know, you're getting older now, the injuries are coming. It's almost like, God willing, they're behind me and I can play more games now.
No, I hear that. And then Eddie Howe phones your phone again to get a move to Bournemouth.
God willing.
Did you think, right, like, get me out of Burnley, or was you
it's
like...
mad because we just got promoted with Burnley. So we literally got promoted.
Yeah.
They offered me a new contract. So it's either I go up with them and play in the Premier League.
And get the Prem money, yeah.
Or go to Burnley. Bournemouth. And Bournemouth's in the Championship at the time. So obviously most people was going to make the decision, go and play in the Premier League. But that stage of my career, I wasn't enjoying football that much. And I needed to get away from there so I can enjoy my football more than anything. And the worst thing is, the season that followed when I decided to go to Bournemouth was the worst season of my career. So it's not like I've just turned down going and playing in the Premier League to stay and play for Bournemouth. But it was the worst. I played the least amount of games. It was the worst season of my career.
Again, I'm going to ask again, did you doubt yourself, like doubt your ability then? Or did you think, I can get over this? Like, be real. Like, some people think, oh, like, maybe this isn't for me, or maybe this is me. Like, I'm not as good as I used to be.
Never. Nah. I always knew, man, my time would come. And it did. But obviously when you're not in the squad even at certain times and you have to run when the team's playing, those times were difficult, but I always knew, because I know my ability, I know my capabilities. So I always knew, if I keep doing this, I will get in the team and I will play. And obviously in that championship season, I don't know how, obviously there's 46 games, but the team must have won 30, 35 games. So when the team's winning every week, it's difficult for the managers to change it.
Yeah, I hear that.
So I knew I would play eventually.
But are you pulling him? I know you're saying it's difficult to change a team, but are you pulling him, saying like, Gaffer, like, when am I going to get my chance?
Nah, not really, you know. And it's not even because, it's funny, again, we was having this conversation on the way down. At that moment, when I say it was the worst season, it wasn't just the worst season because I didn't play. I wasn't training very well.
Okay.
So you have to pick and choose your moments when you speak to managers. If you're training well regularly and you're not playing, then you can pull the manager and say, why ain't I playing? But if you're not particularly training well and you pull the manager, it ends up in an argument and you ain't playing because you've been shit. That's why you ain't playing. And then you're going back and forward.
No,
I just had to bide my time.
No, I hear that. And it's paid off for you. You're like the big man at the club now, isn't it?
I don't know about big man, but I'm one of the oldest man, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you've been there, what? How long you been there? Like,
I've been there this is my 7th season there now.
You are the big man at the club, man. No one can't tell you nothing.
Nah, no one can't tell me nothing there still.
You know what I'm saying? Do you like, so you're like one of the oldest now, you said, do you look at the youngsters and think like, give them advice, or do you just let them do their own thing?
If there's a situation where I think someone could use some advice with, I'm always there to give it. I don't like to step on toes too much. I like to kind of let people do what they're doing. But if they ask me about something, or I see them completely doing something wrong, then I'll say my thing.
Yeah, I see you stick it on one of your teammates in a game. Oh, who was it? Surridge?
I got abused for that, you know. I got a lot of abuse for that, bro.
What? Talk us through what happened. What happened?
Nah, that was. Do you know what? It's just the game. It's just emotions. It's looking back on it. It's probably my fault. We was winning the game. He was in the box, and I felt he could have squared the ball, but he shot from like a mad angle.
Yeah.
And do you know what? It wasn't even far. It wasn't even a bad effort, but I lost my head in that minute, innit? Because I thought he could have squared it. We could have guaranteed it. If we end up conceding now, we've drawn the game. It was more than an isolated incident.
Okay.
It was more of a bigger picture. But obviously, you can't really be fighting on the pitch. And...
Do you know what's mad? I watched that clip yesterday because I was doing my research, but the commentators made it seem like, I think he was winning by like, I think it was like 1-0, or it was tight.
1-0.
And he could have went to the corner, but he's decided to take on the team and have a shot. And it looked like they're making it seem like you stuck it on him because he didn't hold the ball in the corner.
Nah.
It's mad.
He probably maybe should have went to the corner. I don't know. It was 1-0, bruv. Head was gone. But yeah, that one was probably my fault. That's my thing. I lose my head sometimes.
That's a game, innit? As long as you don't lose it on the off the pitch, then you're good. What you say? Are you calm off the pitch, like nights out and that, or?
Yeah, of course. I'm calm. I'm 31 now, man. I've lived. I'm still young, but I lived a fair bit of life. I've been out. I've been in things I shouldn't be. So now I try to just keep calm, just normal.
No, I hear that. You said you got abuse for that little bust up with your teammate. Like, is it from fans or like the staff that telling you what you're doing and stuff like that?
Nah, the staff's cool. They understand the game. People that play the game understand. Like, you see enough people have like pushing and not punches, but little things happen on the pitch. In the training ground, it happens regularly. But when fans don't see it often and they see it on the pitch, it's like a big thing. So I got loads of messages from fans and you're a bully this and you're this. And if you know me, I'm the lead. I hate bullies. I'm not like that one bit.
Yeah.
I would never do something to someone because I can. It was just one of them things. I just lost my head. I apologized to him in the dressing room straight away. But people obviously don't see that.
Exactly,
so they don't see you go back to the dressing room, shake hands and everything's good.
Yeah.
They think you've done something to someone and you're this and you're that, and that's so bad.
And him being a young player coming up, that makes it 10 times worse.
And even things like, obviously we weren't on the greatest run. There was like, this all started when Stanislas and Surridge had this. And are you really blaming that on this situation?
Yeah, it's mad.
It's mad.
Nice. I hear you're a big believer in God. When did that start?
My whole life, really. So my mum obviously brought me up like that. But mainly since lockdown.
Okay.
Lockdown, you can't do that much, innit? So you're doing family walks and you're in the garden with the kids, but there's so much time. And when I say lockdown, you know, the first one,
yeah.
No football, no training, no nothing. Then I had a lot of time to read. So I read, started taking it a little bit more serious.
Okay. Do you feel like if you found God or refound God earlier in life, you would have been in a different place, or do you reckon life would have been the same?
I don't know, you know, I ain't really thought about it like that. I don't know. I just think everything has its time, and what's meant to happen and when it's meant to happen, it will happen. And I think lockdown, a lot of people struggled with lockdown. Obviously, talk about mental illness and things like that. But for me, it's helped me a lot because I've had that time to sit down, study, learn, do certain Zoom sessions with people and stuff like that, and just learn. And lockdown has been good for me.
No, that's good. A lot of people, it's affected it, like you say, it's not been the best for them. Are you one of those that have like the God channel on at home, or is it just like you pray in your own time and it's all like...
Yeah, I pray. I do my own stuff in my own time. So I pray in my own time. I read in my own time. Rarely I'll put that channel on. It's not I'm going on. I might listen to something catches my eye, but nah, not really.
Is it just you or your whole family?
Whole family.
That's good, man. That's good. Like, I'm a Muslim. I'm not the best Muslim, but I still follow the main guidelines and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I'm happy that you found God and it's steering you in the right path. Is there? I'm meaning to ask a lot of like guests that come on it. Is there any downsides to being a footballer? Because, like you say, a lot of fans see is you're making a lot of money, like you should be happy. But is there a time when you think like this is long?
Nah, you can't really complain, man. Like, I think in terms of life throws certain things at you that you're gonna have to deal with anyway.
Yeah.
But in terms of football, you can't really describe it as a job. But in terms of it being a job, you can't complain. Like, you go and play football.
Yeah.
Like, it's positive. Everyone wants to play football. Not everyone makes it, so it's only positive. But in terms of bad things, yeah, you get messages from people. You get some abuse from people. People say things that's not great, but people get that in the normal job. You know what I mean? So you can't complain.
But do you ever wake up, or have you ever woken up and thought, I really don't want to go training today? Like, my head's not there. Like, it's just long.
I've never ever woke up thinking I don't want to go training. I've woke up before thinking, my body's mash up today. I don't know how I'm going to train.
Okay.
But I've never woke up thinking I don't want to go into training.
Fair enough.
Because there's going to come a time where you wake up and you want to go into training and you can't.
Yeah.
Your body can't do it anymore. And then you're going to miss that side of it. So I know that.
Not to sound like rude or anything, but like you say, you're all, 31?
Don't keep saying about this age thing. What's wrong with you, bro?
31. You ain't got long left.
I'm in the prime, bro.
You ain't got long left. And have you started thinking about what's next?
Yeah, but I done that from a good few years ago. I started doing
better.
And it's not even that I necessarily want to be a coach, but I started doing coaching badges probably 2-3 years ago. So I got a couple of them. I got up to the UA for B. I might start doing the A next summer or something.
Is that something you see yourself doing, or is it just...
Potentially. It's something I always want to have something to do if worse comes to worse. And I like football. I love football. I like coaching, because to do those badges, you have to coach some of the kids and stuff like that. So I enjoy that side of it.
No, I'm happy for you, because I coach as well, but sometimes I just feel like this is long, man. I guess I'm not at your level.
Who do you coach though? Kids or adults?
Yeah, kids.
Kids is difficult. So I coach my
teenagers.
Son.
So they understand the game. So I'm all right with them. It's just the younger lot that don't listen to. If you don't listen, I'm quite strict. And if you don't listen to me, it's like listen.
So that's me as well. I can lose my head quick, and I tried to coach my 9-year-old son in the garden. And sometimes, well, it's difficult. You get frustrated. You start getting angry at them. And obviously, you can't do that with other kids.
Yeah.
They're not your kids. So I think if I'd done it, I would do it for more older people.
I hear that. Do you have any advice for any up-and-coming footballers from your walk of life? Because there is a lot of them. And I find, especially like you're from South East, especially like from South East, there's a lot of talent. They just need some advice, or a good word like from people like yourselves who have been there, just to like help them shine on.
In terms of football and making it, everyone says work hard. That's literally all you can do. But enjoy what you do. Don't put too much. So for me, growing up, being a footballer, I always kind of knew I was gonna be a footballer. I never thought about it too much as a job. Like, I'm gonna. Like, it wasn't how do I describe it? It wasn't like, I didn't put too much on it. I kind of like knew I was going to do it. I never had the pressures of, I need to be a footballer because I need to take care of mum, dad, brothers. It was more like, I'm just playing football, having fun. It was never, I say to my son now, you're going to go outside in the garden and practice. It's not even a practice thing. It's, you want to go because you want to play. You love the game. So I think as long as you love the game, you're going to put in the work and the rest of it anyway. So work hard, have fun, and give it your best shot, man.
Did you ever have a backup growing up? Like thinking if football don't work, or no one ever guided you to have a backup?
Everyone, teachers are the worst. At school, teachers will tell you need to have a plan B.
Yeah.
What if you get injured? But I think I heard Will Smith say once, a plan B takes away from plan A. And I don't want to be giving kids advice like don't have a plan B. But at the same time, for me, it was always football. And I think that's what got me to where I got to.
Will Smith says it must be right because he's doing all right, innit? But if you say it, you've played Prem, you're a big man at the club, and now you're doing your thing in the Champ as well. So it must be good advice. But thank you for coming on. Touched on some good things. You said some positive things, and your upbringing is probably like similar to mine, but you've gone on to do the big stuff, innit? So well done, and thank you for coming on, man.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure.
No worries, man.
Pleasure.
Alright, quick fire round. Favorite player?
Messi.
Better. Most skillful player you faced?
Zaha.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not that I'm a defender, but being on the same pitch, I've seen him mash a lot of people up.
Fair enough. Favorite pre-match meal?
My pre-match meal, I have omelette and porridge.
Together?
Nah, man. One after the other, innit?
Someone said, I can't remember who it was. Someone said they had something mad, but yeah. Just had to check. Biggest adrenaline rush in football?
Scoring. Yeah? Scoring a winning goal like late on, just no better feeling.
Have you done a few of those?
Done a few of those,
Better. What's your superstition before a game?
I don't have any.
Nah, don't matter where you come out in a lineup.
Nah. I when I go on the pitch, I normally like say like God come with me on the pitch, that sort of thing, but not superstition.
Nothing about the boots or anything.
No.
Okay, cool. Most embarrassing moment?
The seatbelt. It's the seatbelt. That's becoming legendary.
And any regrets?
Any regrets? Nah.
No regrets?
Far, no regrets, no.
Thank you, man.
Nah, you're welcome. No problem.
No worries.